The English word Copt is from the New Latin word Coptis, which is derived from the Arabic word Qubti. This word was originally driven from the hieroglyphic language. Haqubta in Coptic means land of Ptah, who was one of the gods of ancient Egypt. Because the Greeks could not say it as in hieroglyphics, they would say Aiguptios, Egyptian, or Aiguptos, Egypt. Although the word Coptic was originally used in classical Arabic to refer to Egyptians in general, it has undergone a shift over the centuries to mean more specifically Egyptian Christians, specifically after the bulk of Egyptian population converted to Islam. Hence, today, Copt refers to an Egyptian Christian. According to its tradition, the Coptic Church was established by Saint Mark, an apostle and evangelist, during the middle of the 1st century. The Coptic Church regards itself as subject of many prophecies in the Old Testament. For example, Isaiah the prophet in chapter 19, verse 19, says, "In the day there will be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar to the Lord at its border." Coptic language is a universal language used in Coptic churches in every country. It is derived from ancient Egyptian and uses Greek letters. Many of the hymns in the liturgy are in Coptic and have been passed down since the earliest days of Christianity in Egypt, and even dating back to pre-Christian pharaonic era. The church follows the Alexandrian rite for its liturgy, prayer, and devotional patrimony. With 18 to 22 million members worldwide, whereof about 15 to 18 million are in Egypt, it is the country's largest Christian church. The Coptic Church had encountered long periods of persecution, starting with the Roman Empire at the hands of Nero in the year 54 AD through the time of Diocletian, who, according to historians, martyred over 840,000 Christians during his reign, which began in the year 284. Consequently, the Coptic calendar begins from the year 284, the year Diocletian became a Roman emperor, and whose reign was marked by tortures and mass executions of Christians, especially in Egypt. Hence, the Coptic year is identified by the abbreviation AM, for Anno Martyrium, or Year of the Martyrs. Some of the most famous martyrs during this period include Saint George and Saint Mercurius. The Coptic calendar has 13 months, 12 of 30 days each, and one at the end of the year called Nessi of 5 days in length, except in leap years when the month is 6 days. Egyptian martyrdom continues until the present time. On February 15, 2015, a video was published displaying the beheading of the captives on a beach along the Libyan coast. A caption in the video called the captives the people of the cross, followers of the hostile church in Egypt. 21 Coptic Christian construction workers were martyred on that day. 6 days later, Pope Tewodros II announced that the 21 Copts murdered by the Islamic State in Libya would be commemorated as martyr saints on the 8th day of Mashir of the Coptic calendar, or the 15th of February of the Gregorian calendar. One of the historians witnessed said, "The number of martyrs from Egypt alone is higher than the number of the martyrs of all the churches combined." Tertullian, the historian, wrote, "The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church." Copts in Egypt have contributed immensely to Christian tradition, not only with the offering of the highest number of martyrs, but also by establishing the first catechetical school of Alexandria, the oldest catechetical school in the world. The teachers and students of the school, also known as the Didascalium, were influential in many of the early theological controversies of the Christian Church. Some notable alumni of the school include Cyril, the 24th Pope of Alexandria, Dioscorus, the 25th Pope of Alexandria, Gregory the Theologian and Patriarch of Constantinople, and Didymus the Blind. Another contribution the Copts in Egypt made to Christianity was the establishing and organization of Christian monasticism. Worldwide monasticism stems either directly or indirectly from the Egyptian model. The most prominent figures of the monastic movement include Anthony the Great, Paul of Thebes, Macarius the Great, Shenouda the Archimandrite, and Pachomius the Cenobite. By the end of the 5th century, there were hundreds of monasteries and thousands of cells and caves scattered throughout the deserts of Egypt. The See of Alexandria has contributed to the establishment of early Christian theology and dogma. Egyptian patriarchs were central figures at the first 3 ecumenical councils in the history of Christianity. The Council of Nicaea in 325 AD was highly influenced by the role of Saint Alexander, Patriarch of Alexandria. Additionally, the most prominent figure of the council was the future Patriarch of Alexandria, Athanasius, who played a major role in the formulation of the Nicene Creed, recited today in most Christian churches of different denominations. One of the council's decisions was to entrust the Patriarch of Alexandria with calculating and announcing the exact date of Easter to the rest of the Christian churches on an annual basis. The Council of Constantinople in 381 AD was presided over by Patriarch Timothy of Alexandria, while the Council of Ephesus in 431 AD was presided over by Cyril of Alexandria. Copts believe in 7 sacraments: baptism, chrismation, confession, Eucharist or communion, matrimony, priesthood, and unction of the sick. Today, the Coptic Church is growing and has hundreds of churches and millions of worshippers and followers all over the world.